Welcome to the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. For group exercise junkies and enthusiastic classgoers, we'll explore and uncover authentic, thought-provoking, and heartwarming industry education and inspiration from entertaining, badass fitness pros. And now your host, creator of Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, Warrior Combat, Warrior Revolution, and Warrior Kids Group fitness brands, Ellen DeWord. Here we grow.
Welcome, everybody, to Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. Hi, Mac.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
I have Mac on. I'm so excited. We are going to talk about finding your style in fitness. And style doesn't mean like modality, like cycle versus kickboxing versus step aerobics. Style means your actual style, like how you look and how you dress. And I don't know what else. I'm here to learn along with the audience because this is something I care about. I definitely care about how I look and how I appear and how I come across. And today we get to talk to an expert. So Mac, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
I see the Betty White pillow behind you.
It's actually the entire cast.
Oh,
For everybody, the entire cast of Golden Girls. Love that show. They don't make shows today like they used to.
No, they don't. So yeah, that's for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you'll see the pillow. Otherwise, if you're listening on audio, you just really missed out. So let's see. I met Mac. I think I met you in San Francisco. We're coming
Probably
up.
sometime around. It was some mania. Let's just put it out there. It was some mania. You met me.
Well, I specifically have a vivid memory of seeing you in San Francisco. So I think that's where it happened, but it just relates to the theme of what we're talking about. So I saw you and I was like, whoa, who's that? And it was because of, and I started following you. And honestly, truthfully, it was because of your style. You stood out. I was like, who is that? Put together, sort of flamboyant, beautiful, stunning creature that's floating around this hotel. I gotta know more. And then when I looked on your Instagram, I saw more. I was like, oh, here's more, here's more. So that's my kind of memory of meeting you. It was the same time that, this is interesting. It was the same time I met Diva. And it's funny to me that I saved her contact in my phone as your phone number accidentally. And
I didn't know that.
You didn't know?
No, I didn't know that. And that's actually, I met Diva
Probably
at
there.
San Francisco in 2022. And
that's it.
if you saw her podcast, we talked about that. So go watch that one, but continue your story. I'm very curious to know how Diva's number was mine.
Okay, yeah, definitely watch that Do Work podcast. That was an incredible interview. I loved it with Mac and Diva. So yes, it's so cool. That is where we all three met, and it was 2022. Then we did 2023, and this is going to be our third year there, next week or whenever, I think 2 weeks from now when we go back. But I just remember you were running social media or something at the time, or for a little while. And I met her there. I met you there. You both stood out to me. And I think it's really cool that the three of us today are friends. Now it's just so cool. Who knows who you meet and what friendships are going to crop into your life.
Exactly. I just connected with you, and that's what it was. I was running SCW Social at the time.
Yeah.
And I had to run around every single session and get clips and videos of every single presenter. And that's how I got to know Ellen. I got to know Diva. I got to know everyone of the presenters that were at SCW at the time. And it was a really good experience.
Good. So I remember SCW wanted me to send I don't even remember what it was, but it was some kind of maybe promotional snippet or something, maybe about one of my sessions. I really don't remember the content, but I remember I had to go set up a cell phone vertical in the beautiful studio where I work. And I had to do this pitch or some type of social media content and text it to you. because that made sense because you were in charge of their social media. And so I did all that. Like I, got all ready and I was like, blah, like high energy, like whatever I had to say, and then I get this text, like I've never texted Diva before a day in my life. And I get this message back from her like, why are you sending me this? And it took me a while to figure out that she was her on the other end of the phone and not you. Anyway, that's a fun little vignette. Yeah. So, okay. So why don't you introduce yourself? We just started diving in, but like tell everybody where you're from and all that stuff.
So I'm Mac. First off, that's M-A-C. So spell my name right, because there's many a times where I get called Matt, Max. They think my name is a nickname, but no, my name is Mac. Like the makeup brand, the Apple products. Sometimes you see it on a dumpster. Like, yeah, that's how you spell it. And when it's not spelled correctly, I get slightly offended.
Yeah.
I do. I get slightly offended. And I even went to a MAC cosmetic store and I was just jokingly saying, like, do you get a discount if your name is actually Mac? And I must have persuaded her so well. She was like, yeah, we'll give you 15% off. I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh, that is amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, can I tell them what your last name is? Because I already knew what your last name was, but I just saw you in DC like 4 seconds ago.
Let's see if you can pronounce it.
Carvalho.
Close, Carvalho.
Wait, I said that. I'm saying it wrong. Carvalho. What did I do wrong?
Yep, you got it. You got it. It sounded like a hoe at the end.
No, it's because that's how you told me how you spell it. So you told me you spell it Carvalho.
It's Portuguese. So shout out to all my Portuguese friends on here. You know. But anyway, back to introducing me. So I'm born and raised in New Bedford, Massachusetts. So I'm closer to Providence, Rhode Island. I'm not anywhere near the Boston area. Right. I'm about an hour away from Boston. I'm about 30 minutes from Providence and about 30-ish minutes to the start of Cape Cod. Okay. So that's basically where I'm from. I'm 30. I've been in fitness for 11 years. I've started out as a dancer. I started teaching pretty much during college, and you'll hear throughout my story about how I transitioned into fitness, a little bit about my new endeavors, going into style coaching. So I can't wait to talk to all of you. Talk to Ellen. If you have questions, feel free to contact me. I'm sure it'll be listed in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely going to be. Yeah, we're going to talk about sort of how you got in, so many things that I actually don't know about you. So I'm just excited to hang out with you. We're going to find out about how you got into fitness, this new endeavor that's related to style, which I'm sure relates to fitness. So I want to hear that tie in. And then I'm sure you have thoughts on how we can level up in that area or in other areas. I want the world to know like what you teach and what you represent and what you're doing and all that stuff. Let's see. I did have a question about, let's see, where you live. Okay, you're married, yes?
I am not married.
Oh, you're not married. Look at all this stuff.
I'm not married. People think I'm married. And actually, I had a question tonight. It was like, when are you and Dave going to get married? I'm like, not yet. When it happens, it'll happen. And I will let everyone know. You will see the post.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, I just think you guys are an adorable couple and it's fun to watch, like all your things. Yeah. Okay, so
I'll let them know that.
Yes. So let's dive into let's go deeper into how you got into fitness, like from the very beginning. How did you get into fitness and how did you get into group fitness and all of that?
All right. So I got into fitness through being at my dance studio. I always said to myself that I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be on Broadway. That was my calling because I grew up as a dancer. I started dancing when I was 7 years old. I competed across the East Coast. I've won regional awards. I've won national awards. I've even had the opportunity to perform at Disney at a very young age. So that was really exciting. It was really hot, and that was the hottest I've ever been in my entire life. Think you're in all black. Okay, all black. And black gives a lot of heat. Okay, white repels the heat, black pulls in the heat. So that's number one. It was this really thick polyester suede looking material because I was a cowboy.
Okay.
It was Florida in July. So
Oh,
just put that into perspective right there. Now you add millions upon millions of lights on a stage
oh. Mm-hmm.
and one fan, one fan backstage, and you are just, and it's just blowing in hot air. So no matter how many times I've heated up a group text room, no matter how many times I think it's so hot, I go back to that experience and I was like, nope.
Wait, were you
Just
just
remember,
sick?
you were on stage at 8 years old
Okay.
in hot black polyester in 100-degree heat.
Oh
Just
my
go back to that time. It was like nothing ever compared to that. But anyways, I grew up as a dancer. I went through high school. I hated gym, which is so surprising, but I think it's a very strong narrative that most people who enter group fitness, they either loved the gym or like they wanted nothing to do with gym. And
Yeah.
I even find with group fitness instructors, they've come from a dance background at some point. I always meet a fitness instructor like, oh, I grew up as a dancer and then I transitioned into group fitness because I didn't want to dance anymore. I phased out of it and I wanted to still move, but in a different way. So we got into group fitness. I was unemployed at the time because this was during my early years of college.
Okay.
And I was doing homework all the time. I was in after school clubs, but I also needed an outlet. And my dance teacher at the time, who just opened her studio because we danced together at another studio, but then she opened up her own studio when I was entering college.
Okay.
And she told me about a class called Zumba. Now, this is when I feel as though Zumba was at its peak.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was mentioning Zumba. Everyone did Zumba classes. She kept saying, you would love this. It's up your alley. I think you're going to enjoy this because it's high energy like you. And I said, oh, I'll give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a go. Had no idea what I was doing, but I had so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know how to go to a workout class at the time. I showed up in baggy sweats. I had my Converse on. I had this big t-shirt, which is so surprising. So if you look at my social now, you'd be like, you did that? You wore that? I'm like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. And then I really loved it so much
Uh-huh.
that this little inner voice said to me, why don't you do this?
Oh.
I don't know why it came into my head because
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking, you don't even like the gym.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing. You don't think, is it really going to be worth it for you? There's so many instructors out there. Why would you want to get into this? What are you going to bring to the table?
Hmm.
But I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. And finally, I just asked my instructor, what does it take to be an instructor? She told me about the training. She told me what the process was like. And I got home that very same night. I looked on the website, trainings near me. I
Mhm.
found the cheapest one because it was at a fitness conference, believe it or not.
Mhm.
And I signed up and I said, I'm going to do this. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
And I tell you, I was in a ballroom of 100 and something people getting trained in Zumba. 100 people in a training. It was insane. I met Ann Saldi, which if you don't know who Ann Saldi is, she's basically like the Zumba mama of the East Coast. So shout out to her. If you're watching this, hi, Ann.
Oh.
Love you.
Oh. We're gonna send her the episode. We're gonna
Send
do.
her the episode because I really learned a lot from her. And later on down the road, I learned a lot from Joey Walsh or Joey Camaro. So shout out to her as well. And I still tell them all the time that both of them had such an influence on me
Yeah.
and how I became a better instructor because I listened to them. And when they said, continue your education, don't be afraid to try out new things, like I was like, uh-huh,
Mhm.
like, yes, yes, I will get trained and learn all about these new things. So I definitely give credit to them for shaping me into the instructor I now am today. And I've been through a lot of ups and downs in my journey. I've done a lot of things in my career. So if you want to talk more about that, we can. But
Well, I have so many questions.
I pretty much went to teaching. I did a couple classes here and there. I was in a job because I finally did get a job after becoming an instructor, and I didn't like what I was doing. I wasn't happy. And I found out I was making more money teaching. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take this risk. I quit that job and I haven't looked back.
Yeah.
I haven't looked back. I've been teaching ever since.
I like the couple things that you said in there, I think are huge takeaways. One, like the little voice inside of you. I think people feel that sometimes about teaching, but then they don't listen to it. They don't act, they just are like, they let the like, you know how you were like, maybe I don't know what I'm doing, maybe I don't know how, maybe I wouldn't be good at it. I think some people hear that voice, that inkling, and then they just shrink back. And you were like, what do I have to lose? You said, like, what do I have to risk? And I love that philosophy in life. Like, you already have a no. It's already not happening. Why not just go for it? And then like also just you naming like two mentors or shapers of who you are today. Like that's such an important piece. And it's harder to find them the more like the longer you're in the industry and the better you get, and to find people that will still mentor you and give you that feedback and stuff. But gosh, yeah, I love Joey. She's a character. I didn't know you met her from way back.
I met her from way back because I was doing a lot of the Zumba formats at the time because I was like, I'm only doing one thing. Like at the time, but then I remember Anne saying to me, you will grow more as an instructor if you venture off.
Yeah.
And I got into Beachbody. I don't know how I got into it. I think a friend of mine was telling me about like the coaching program and there were all these different workouts and I got into them a little bit at home. I really loved Chalene Johnson. That was the one who I gravitated to because I felt I related to her styles of workouts because even though she's not really like a dance person, I said, I just liked her vibe.
Yeah.
And I saw Turbo Kick. I know she did Kyle for a little bit. And I took those trains because I said, why not add something different to my repertoire? And
Okay.
Joey was the one who did the trainings at the time. And
Oh, I
she
didn't
is
even know
just as funny back then as she is now. She's not doing fitness anymore, which is sad. And I know a lot of people thinks it's sad if she ever sees this. I know people are sad that she doesn't do fitness anymore, but I know she's doing amazing things. And anytime I see her or I see Anne, it's always nice one to catch up because I usually will see them at conferences. But they really taught me some valuable things. So I always give credit to them.
So you started with Zumba and then you branched out and started doing other formats. I guess I didn't realize you had done, or I'd forgotten that you had done some Beachbody formats.
I
And
did
and then I
Kyle, Turbo Kick, I did Insanity. I even did P90X, but this was before P90X rebranded into more of a group fitness space.
I know
This
exactly.
was when P90X was still kind of like PT,
I remember.
like
Yep.
PT training. And I was like,
It
I
was like,
will say I do not regret trainings, but I've done over 20 plus certifications and I loved some of them. And you will learn something new in every training that you do. But there are some are just like, why did I do this? I'm never going to teach this. I'm never going to really use this in my daily life. I mean, I wasn't really enjoying them. I was just like on a certification kick. And I feel as though when you're a brand new instructor, you take a training and you're like, I really love this. And like, I'm going to do more, 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 more. So, number one advice, kids, only do trainings that speak to you as an individual because it's authentic. Don't just teach something just to teach it. Don't teach something if it's trendy because the trends, they come and they go. But you got to find a format or two that speak to you and make your personality show.
I agree. So then today, I think I have this right, just from being one of your stalkers online. You're doing the Soul Brands as a master trainer. You do
That's right.
Body Pump, you do High Fitness, and you do content, like video content with High Fitness, right?
I do. I'm part of the talent team on High Fitness Live.
Yeah. So how many total formats are you teaching per week?
So I teach Water in Motion, which is a pre-choreographed branded aqua program, which I just came back from filming brand new content for them, which is amazing. I do the Soul Fitness brands. I love them. I'm a master trainer for them. And if you're a master trainer for a format, you don't teach a format, like you love the format, you know what I mean? That you're training others to teach. Like you gotta love the format, number one. I do work for High Fitness. I do Body Pump. I've done taught Pilates at one point. I've taught Pound. I've taught Piloxing. I was actually at one point in line to be a master trainer for Piloxing, like way back. And bar formats. I have my own little bar format that I trademarked, believe it or not, which is a little confession of mine. I do have a trademark format, but it's kind of my own little baby.
Yeah.
It is my own little baby. I'm not sure if I'll ever launch it. I mean, never say never, but it's one of those, like, I'm not sure if it's ready yet.
Wait, it's never gonna be ready. You're never gonna feel like it's ready. I promise. Like you'll never feel like it's perfect and ready. Just ask all my instructors. Like I started scrappy. We look back on those first lessons and we're like, whoo, we've grown, we've improved a lot.
You know what I mean? But I love what I'm doing now. And like I said, never say never.
No.
But it's one of those, I'll know in my heart if it's time. And maybe it won't be time. Sometimes it's something that maybe it is a little judgment of myself, you know, but again, never say never.
No, I feel like I never would have felt ready to be a mom and I got pregnant. So like I didn't have a choice. Like, and so you never feel ready for certain things. Like I don't know. I think you should put it out there to the world. That's what I think.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
There's a lot on my plate right now.
Is it hard for you to keep it all in your head, like all the pre-choreography that you're doing? Or are you just
That's the hardest for me is because I teach a lot of pre-choreographed formats that I love. The songs sometimes get repeated from brand to brand. And I have to figure out, okay, wait, I can't use this song because it's already in this, and I like this choreography better in this format than this format. Or I look like for High, for example, I can't unhear a song because when it's actually at its correct tempo, because we speed up the music in High,
Oh yeah.
I can't unhear it. So now when I hear the original song, it's womp, womp.
Oh, right. It's slow for you.
It's so painful to hear. I'm like, oh, Britney Spears, like speed this up. This is great.
Wait, can you hear my cat crying? No?
No, I can't hear the cat.
Okay, good. I hope nobody can. She's going crazy, but we're just gonna let her cry. I can tune her out. If you can hear her, she just wants to talk to Mac, I guess. Okay, so how many classes a day do you teach?
A day, I would say the most I teach in a day is 5.
Jeez, holy moly.
But I've learned to separate my days. So Monday might be a really hard day, but then my Tuesdays, it's still hard, but it's not beating myself up.
Yeah.
So it gives me a little bit of time to recover.
Yeah.
And then the next day when I go into teaching, it's a harder day.
Yeah. My schedule is like that too. Like just changing from one format to the next format, it's like it's still hard, but it's totally different type of hard on my body. And so, but I don't teach as much as you. I'm like at the stage in my life where one a day is good. Maybe one a day and then maybe a 30-minute virtual or something. But yeah. Okay, so then how did you when did you start becoming interested in fashion and style? And then how did that evolve into this new thing that you just announced about you're going back to school and you're doing style coaching? So how long have you been into like fashion and style?
I have always loved clothing, even as a little kid. I had to have the name brand of everything. And I always enjoyed looking good. Because when you look good and you're feeling confident in yourself, you shine just like a diamond. I mean, when you put on your favorite outfit, you feel like $1,000,000, even if you're not feeling it that day. Even if you are sick, you're so tired, you're mentally and you're physically drained. When you put on a really cute outfit, whether you put makeup on, no makeup on, you're dressed to the gods, it could be something so simple. You feel so much better in yourself, even if you're not having the best of days. So I've always enjoyed clothing. And I will say this, I'm not here in this world to be fashionable. Style is an attitude.
Oh,
It is living authentically your truest self through and through.
oh,
Fashion is how you express yourself creatively. But we want to avoid following the trends. We're not here to be trendy on this earth. We do not want to be carbon copies of everybody else. Just because some 20-year-old influencer saying this is the hottest item that you need in your wardrobe right now doesn't mean it's going to work for you. When influencers say, oh, this is out and this is in, what they think is in might not suit your style personality. It might not suit your body type.
yeah.
It may not even be in the right colors for you. And if you love, let's say, skinny jeans, wear your skinny jeans. I know skinny jeans are not the in pant right now. But if you love them and you feel so confident in them, wear them. Who says that you have to follow every single trend? Because when you're following trends day in and day out, you look in your wardrobe and you're saying to yourself, I have nothing to wear. But you have so much clothes that you could open up a store.
And
so
it
I
goes
always say,
like
fashion can be creative,
yeah.
but style is an attitude. It is a way to be authentic. Because when you can show up as yourself, truly authentic, being your best self, and I know it sounds cliche,
No.
that is where you shine in your style.
Do you think like instructors, do you think like we see instructors, you and I, we see instructors all the time. Do you think that this is something that they struggle with or like could benefit from, or like what's your take on that? Like on the market, like on our like we're
Absolutely.
talking to our peers, we're talking to our
So as instructors, here's a couple of things that I will say. First, I'm going to talk more about the instructor as a job and what is going to be your style as an instructor. Then I'm just going to say another reminder later on to fitness professionals like myself who do this for a living, because sometimes I think we get caught up on this. Number one, being an instructor, it is a job. And you want to show up to your class looking your best. It does not matter whether you have a budget of TJ Maxx or a budget of Lululemon. It does not matter. You can be in style, look amazing on any budget. And I'm not going to sit here and tell someone you need to be in the most expensive brands in the entire world. That's just not who I am. Everyone budgets differently. And you can still look amazing in a cheaper brand and a more expensive brand. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, I highly recommend that you get your colors analyzed. And if you don't know what color analysis is, we can definitely talk about that a little bit later. But basically, it is an amazing tool that I feel as though you unlock a secret when you get your colors analyzed. And if you've been scrolling Instagram, you've been scrolling TikTok, you've probably have seen the process where people drape different colors on under their chin, and an analyst will look to see if it suits you or not.
Oh, that's not in my algorithm. I'm not seeing those videos.
And the one thing I will say, and I'm gonna be a little harsh on this,
Okay.
and you probably would think, Matt, how dare you? I can't believe you just said this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Black does not work on everybody.
Oh, here I am.
Black is not a universal color.
For those of you not watching on YouTube, I'm literally dripping in black right now. I'm like black.
And I'm wearing black too, and everybody loves black. It's a safety net.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Black is a very deep, it's cool, and it's an intense color. And on some people, especially if you're very light in your features or soft in your features, black is your enemy. It is actually going to be very harsh near your face. It'll actually sink your face down and make you look older than what you actually are. So when you work with a color palette, if black doesn't suit you, there are other darker neutrals that are going to be flattering near your face and in your entire outfit. So if you haven't gotten your colors analyzed, I highly suggest doing it because, like I said, you've unlocked a secret that you've never known before. So for me, I am a winter. So cool, deep, and brighter colors suit me and my features better than soft, warm, and muted colors.
Okay.
It's a very interesting and long-winded concept. So if you scroll on social, you can definitely get more information on it. But that is what I'm going to tell people, that as an instructor, I know black is a safety zone. You can get it everywhere. But once you get your colors analyzed, I challenge you, open your mind to black. To other colors and not just black.
Okay. So how important do you think color palette is to looking your best? Like it's super, like you told me, we just had dinner together. We were at the presenter party and I think you told me that you thought I was a winter. And
I do.
Certain colors you said make my tattoo pop and others not so much.
Absolutely. So disclaimer to any color analysts watching this video, I am not a style coach. I am not a certified color analyst yet. I'll put that out there yet. But going back to school, learning about style, learning more about color theory, I told Ellen I would be shocked if she wasn't in the winter palette because I stalk her socials all the time. And as color analysts and people who I follow on social always say, you shouldn't automatically judge people. You want to trust the process. And I still believe that. So don't get me wrong. I could be so wrong and say, like, you could be an autumn for all I know, but the colors would have to do the talking. But what I noticed with you is when you got the right colors on, and they're usually colors from the winter palette, her tattoos pop. I can see every detail in those tattoos and it shines like art. And when she doesn't wear her right colors, if she's wearing something that's too soft or too warm, the tattoos look a little fuzzy. And I'm not able to see, like, oh, is that a flower? Is that, like, what is that in the sternum area? I'm not sure. And even her features go a little fuzzy. Like it's too soft for her. She can have a little bit more depth. She can handle a little bit more brightness. And where it really comes into play is in makeup and hair.
I was gonna ask you is if like hair is part of the whole like style
Oh,
and
yes, it is. Because you could wear your color palette to a T. You could have a full wardrobe in your perspective palette. But if your hair and your makeup is off, it's going to throw the whole outfit and the whole look, it's going to fall flat. So for me as a winter, I will say this. Most winters, and I'm not going to say all of them, most winters have dark hair.
okay.
Most of them. There are some exceptions with blondes, but
Huh.
usually they're either a cool winter or a bright winter. They're usually not deep.
Huh. I thought it was
And
cool.
for winters, blonde is something to avoid because you will lose contrast. And contrast is so important when you're putting together an outfit. You would need something dark, light, and a bright to make yourself pop. So a classic example is a black and white with an accent color. So whether it's a fuchsia pink, a cobalt blue, emerald green, ruby red, electric purples, whatever it is, that's going to make you pop because you need contrast to pull yourself together. And we're the only season as a winter who can pull off a lot of high contrast. And even with makeup, and I noticed with you, Ellen, when you wear a berry red lipstick,
I think it's my favorite.
it suits your features. It doesn't sit separate to your face. Versus when I've seen you wear more of like an orangey red.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the orangey reds, they're okay, but it makes the lips are separate from the face.
Yeah.
That when I see you in the orangey red lipsticks, it's more, like I see the lipstick.
Yeah.
And it just feels like you put something on your face.
Right.
It doesn't look like your makeup just smooths and blends and harmonizes with you. And that's what I said with you. I'd be shocked if I did your analysis and you weren't in the winter palette. I would be shocked because a good way also to tell is how well people can pull off black.
Oh.
If you can wear black well, there's a good indicator that you're probably in the winter palette.
I'm in black and I am in black. I like that you said you don't have to like whether they wear makeup or not, because obviously like not everyone is into makeup. So that was cool.
No, not everyone is.
Yeah.
Like if I wore makeup, bronzer is my enemy because bronzer really suits warm undertoned people.
I don't wear anything like that either. I don't put anything on my face, like foundation or bronzer. Well, sometimes I'll do a cheek, a blush.
And usually for blush, it's usually in the pinky category, not so much apricot, peach. Like the color of the year is peach fuzz. And for me, that's going to be a trend I'm just going to let pass because peach is soft, it's warm, and it's very muted.
Okay.
Which is like everything that's not me.
Okay.
And if I put peach next to my face, it's gonna, ooh.
Okay.
You actually look more, I look more sallow. It gets this yellowness in my face that wasn't there, and it's not pleasant. But if you're in autumn, or if you're a spring, if you've gotten your colors done and you found out you're one of those, congratulations. Peach is fabulous on you.
Okay, that's fun. All right. So wait, do you want to say more about the color palette? Because I am still interested in it. Or I also want to hear, you'd mentioned like body type. And I think it's like, I ask my master trainers, there's some things I ask of them in terms of like leveling up. And one of them is that they look their best. And that does not mean like thin at all. Like it just means that they're dressing like I know there's certain ways I can dress that flatter the parts of my body that look better, and I can like I know how to dress to sort of de-emphasize parts I might not like as much. And so I think there is an art form to that. Like there's an art to figuring out how to make what types of clothes? Are they high-waisted? Are they low-waisted? Are they tight here? Are they loose? Like, you know?
And there's so many factors. So with style coaching, once I go through the certification program, I can offer body shape consultations.
Cool.
And I can help you find the styles that are going to work best with you, that flatter your figure and emphasize things that you want. So there's so many examples of this. So there's many different body types, but the most common that you're going to see are the triangle, also known as the pear,
Okay.
the inverted triangle, the hourglass, the
Mhm.
oval shape, or the rectangle shape.
Okay.
And what we do through a body shape
I
consultation
feel like I'm
is
rectangle hourglass. I feel like I'm rectangle.
that's just the body shapes,
Oh.
but there's also your vertical proportions, your horizontal proportions,
Hmm.
and you could be petite, you could be tall, you can be average height. So you can have an example of I'm an inverted triangle who's petite and has a classic style personality. There's a
Oh.
lot of factors in there.
Oh.
So maybe we say, what is something that you want to highlight? We want to accentuate the features that you are confident in. And there are going to be certain styles that just aren't going to work for you.
Okay.
For example, if you're an hourglass shape, we need to avoid anything boxy
Oh.
because it's not going to emphasize the natural waist.
Yeah.
Inverted triangle, you're broader on top and narrower hips at the bottom. So we want to bring less attention to the upper half. So anything with puff sleeves and shoulder pads,
I
that's not going to do anything for you except make your shoulders look more broad.
see. Yeah.
Whereas if we put the emphasis on the bottom half of the outfit, it'll give the illusion of more defined hips.
Hmm.
But the most important thing that I will tell anybody is you need to wear what makes you happy. If there's anything that's sentimental to you, obviously keep it. I'm never going to ask anybody to throw things away. I would just advise you in better shopping habits. So you're not just going through the store willy-nilly, you're looking at the sale rack, because even though something was $2, it can still be a mistake.
Okay.
I know it sounds convoluted, I know. And it's a lot to take in, but I promise you, when I got my colors done, I've been learning a lot about the theory and the practice of style coaching. It puts into perspective my purchases and it makes shopping that much easier because then you know in confidence, if you spend a little more money on an item, you have the confidence to say, I know this is going to last in my wardrobe for years to come. And you won't need to shop as much because you can mix and match everything
Oh,
inside of your wardrobe.
okay. So it's actually like it's like an economy. Like it's a savings, even if if you are buying higher end items, designer items, but you know, you're getting more mileage out of them and shopping.
Exactly. You could spend $700 on an outfit. You can buy $20 of an outfit. But the $20 outfit doesn't suit your body type. It's not in your color palette. It's not in your style personality. Versus the $700 outfit, it checks every single box. That $20 item that you bought, it may get a few wears, but that $700 outfit is lasting years and years and years, and you're wearing it constantly. So think of it as cost per use.
Yeah.
I
So
buy something that may be over $100, but if I'm wearing that item consistently, I'm breaking it down so that pretty much by the time I paid my dues with that item, it's down to pennies.
yeah.
Like this that I'm wearing right now, this jumpsuit,
Yeah.
I bought this maybe 4 years ago and I still have it and I
Wow.
wear it all the time. And this was over $100. I'm just going to put it out there. It was over $100. But now that I've broken it down and I wear it all the time and I feel good in it and it works for my body type, it works for my style personality. Black is in my color palette. Because even my analyst told me, like, black looks good on you. You're one of the 25% who work well in black. And I'm like, yes.
Okay, wait. So I get the color
So
palette.
it does work.
Tell me again what you mean by style personality. Is that winter versus autumn versus, is that what that is? Okay, got it.
So that's the colors, that's the color analysis, that's the seasons.
Well, that's color analysis. Okay.
What is style personality is a whole different ball game. There are usually 5 style personalities that most people fall into. Okay. We have a natural style personality, the creative style personality, the romantic, the classic, and the dramatic. And you can have a little bit of both, but most people will fall into one more than the other.
Okay, like a predominant one.
Predominantly. Okay. And even in fitness, this can apply to you.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm a creative. I like mixing patterns and prints. I'm not afraid to wear bolder colors. And even if I have to wear black bottoms, my black bottoms are going to have a little something extra to them, because a plain black legging, I'll be honest, does nothing for me. I look at it and I snooze. I snooze. It's like, oh, it has a pocket. Don't care. I want to know, is there little details within that black legging that make it that much more unique? Because if you just think it's a soft brushed material with pockets, flattering seams on your butt, with a spinates fit, like, okay, give me something else. Is there a subtle print? Is there a detail like a lightning bolt, or there's stars on it? Is there something more to a black legging?
So wait, what is your personality? Is it creative? Are you creative?
I'm a creative because, again, I'm not afraid to mix prints and patterns. I like having bold accessories.
So what's the difference between that and dramatic?
So the difference between that and dramatic is has a little bit of classicness to them, but they add a little pop. So it's a little bit of the same thing, but it's a slightly different. A dramatic would be someone like Cher. Cher's dramatic.
Yeah.
Fran Drescher is dramatic. Okay. When you saw her on The Nanny, she had very tailored outfits, but boy, did they pop. She's another example of a winter, by the way.
Okay, totally.
Because she can pull off those high contrast items very well.
What do you think is my style personality?
And even with fitness, I would say for you, you are a little bit of a dramatic and a creative.
Yeah, because my fitness style is different than my going out style.
Because I think even for you, activewear is activewear. But I also think for you, you'll wear a plain black legging if you have to, but it's not your favorite thing in the world. You would like a black legging that has a little something. If you saw just a plain brushed pair of black legging, you would say, it's okay. It's like, it'll do, but it's not like, I'm not jazzed about it. I don't get excited about that. You would experiment with color.
Right, definitely. The only reason you'll see like me in black leggings at a conference is because I want like the uniform look, and I feel like everyone has a pair of black leggings. So if I ask everyone for this team photo to bring black leggings, like we're all gonna have a pair, but no, it's not what I want. It's not what I want.
And you wouldn't be afraid to go out there with print.
No. But I do
get afraid of that. And that's definitely a creative, dramatic style personality, because a classic, if you have a classic style personality, even just color blocking in like a bright red and a purple, it'd be like, ooh, too much. That's way too bold for me. You would need a bright color and maybe like a neutral.
I did get, when I finished my bodysuit tattoo, it did change my style a little bit because I used to love to do like more crazy patterns and prints and stuff, but now my skin is very busy looking. And so often if I go wilder with my patterns and prints, I'm kind of clashing my skin, which I don't always mind. Sometimes I like that also, but I've noticed that like since I've gotten the bodysuit, I tend to wear more solids and try to spice them up with color. But
There's nothing wrong with that either. I'm not saying everybody needs to go and have these bold prints all the time, but you need to be confident in what you're wearing. And what I also notice is that when you do go out, which instructors, I know you love athleisure. I love my athleisure. I love my sweat sets. But sometimes I feel as though we forget that other styles of clothing exist.
yes, thank you. Preach. Go. Yes. Yes.
I think we've forgotten. I think the panini, as I like to call it, kind of put a hindrance on people's style. And we think, oh, now we have athleisure. Like, I still don't understand why people are still to this day going out to Walmart in their feety pajamas.
Thank you.
And no, I'm not kidding. I've seen it happen.
Thank you. So
There
okay.
is so much cute activewear. There's so much athleisure out there now at all different price points. I'm talking the $30 sweat sets to like the $300 plus.
Wait, so you're saying they should be wearing that?
There's so much out there. So I'm talking
Oh,
like the feety pajama people. I
okay.
still don't understand.
I thought
But
you meant
even so, that's basically what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to say to the feety pajama people,
the pajama people. Okay.
no,
Really pajama people at Walmart?
no.
No.
You can find a sweatsuit for you. But going back to fitness instructors,
Yes.
I feel as though we've forgotten what actual clothing is.
Thank you.
When
Yes.
I put on actual clothes, not my sweat sets, not my activewear, because listen, activewear for me is the same as wearing a suit.
Mhm.
Think of it like that. It's still wearing a suit. And when I put on actual clothing that is not filled with spandex,
Mhm.
not a poly spandex, not a nylon spandex, nothing with stretchy material, putting on actual clothing, you feel so much better. And you can take away the active side of you because we know you're doing it. You're doing the damn thing. You are leading people in fitness. But let's not forget, you have a life outside of fitness.
Yeah.
And there are times where wearing athleisure is not always the best thing. Think of when you're going to a wedding, you're going to a barbecue, you're going to a baby shower. You don't want to show up always in sweats. And there's so much style out there. There's so much opportunity out there for you. So getting what your style personality is, whether you have a natural style, a classic, a romantic, a dramatic, a creative, knowing what body shape you are. So whether you're inverted triangle, oh, I got fireworks.
Did.
I don't know how that happened, but
I don't know how you did it either, but you
like
did
a boom.
it. Yeah,
That means they have to watch the video
they have to watch a video to see that. I feel like a couple
and
things,
knowing your colors. If you get that right,
right? Yeah.
you are set. You
I
are
really
set for
like
life.
how you said, like, I love that you talked about just like feeling confident is the best look that there is. And I think given the audience listening, these are people that obviously care a lot about their role as group fitness instructors, or they wouldn't be taking the time to listen to a podcast. So I think that like one thing I want to take away from this time with you, and I care a lot about how I show up. I care a lot about what I'm wearing. I think I'm very cognizant of the power of a first impression, and I'm often in settings professionally with fitness where I am making a first impression. Unlike like the class I taught today where I knew everybody who was there, I'm often stepping onto a stage where 95% of the people in the room have not met me before. So I think everything I'm wearing, like you say, how it fits my body, you know, whether I'm showing them that I have any tattoo or not, like what's going on with my hair, you know, all of that, you know, what I'm doing with my makeup because I might be under like a lot of lights, you know, but I think just giving extra care and attention to our appearance and first impressions that are so almost impossible to ever get back. People are judging us, unfortunately, within a milliseconds of seeing us. They're judging, is this person
3 seconds. 3 to
three?
5 seconds it takes for someone to make a first impression of you.
And a lot of what they're assessing is what we're wearing, how we're carrying ourselves, our posture, if we're smiling, like all these things, like is my time well spent in this person's presence? Is this person going to give me what I'm looking for? They're making all those things. So I think what I want out of this episode is for all of us, like myself included, to just think about what are some ways we can sharpen that up. And I like that it went into this vignette about athleisure because I like we just saw each other at the presenter party. Like I look for opportunities to wear real clothes because of how it makes me feel, because I do live in spandex, like because everyone listening to this podcast probably lives in spandex for most of their life. So take the time when you can to be the overdressed person or to put on real clothes with like buttons
Feel
and
so much
zippers.
better.
It
You
changes.
feel so much better because, like I said, style is an attitude.
Mhm.
It is living authentically as yourself, living by your rules, not someone else's.
I
You
like
can
that.
be fashionably creative, and if you're especially into fashion, you kind of want to know where the trends are going, and maybe you want to try them for yourself, but not every trend is going to work for you. So let's say if fuchsia pink is
Yeah.
trending for a little bit, and you got your colors done by a professional, whether it's me after I get done with this certification or someone else, you say, you know what? Maybe getting that fuchsia pink is gonna work for me. I know it does because it's in my palette. And I know if I buy something in fuchsia pink, I know confidently that whether it's, again, a cheaper brand or a more expensive brand, depending on what the item is, I know it's going to last me way before, because we have micro trends up the butt.
Mm-hmm.
We have micro trends coming at us every day. Every day there's a micro trend in this, then there's a trend for this and a trend for that. It's fun to experiment, but just realize not everything is going to work for you. And you do not need to be a slave to the fashion industry, because we want to be our own selves. We're not here to be carbon copies of somebody else. Like I know, for example, I know neutrals,
Yeah.
but specifically in the beige tan skims category is trending. And that's what everybody seems to like. If I put beige and tan and browns on me, I look awful. I look terrible in those colors. And I'm surprised, like Kim Kardashian loves all those neutrals, because in my opinion, and a lot of the analysts I follow, beige doesn't suit her. She looks better in darker colors. She doesn't look good in those tans. But if you work well with beige and tan, okay, maybe that's a thing you would invest in. So it's all about knowing the little secrets. It's like you've unlocked this extra chapter, or you unlocked a new level in a video game. And it's like when I go into a store, I can look around and say, I look at this thing. Nope. 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 And sometimes some of the most successful shopping trips that I've had come home with nothing.
Oh, I like that tip.
Because not only is it saving the environment, it's saving your finances.
Yeah.
Because especially in this economy, even a $20 mistake is still a mistake.
True.
And I'm never going to, and you should never be sad or feel invalidated with your purchases. That's number one. You should never feel sorry about anything that you buy. If it works for you and it makes you feel confident, that's amazing. And even if I did your analysis and I said black doesn't work for you and you feel some type of way, I say, okay, here's ways where maybe you start to elevate it a little bit more. Maybe I would say, keep the black on the bottom half of your outfit, but maybe stop buying black tops.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you have a black shirt, maybe add a jacket or a scarf in your correct color palette, because then you're getting the closest to your face. But if you really want to elevate an outfit, even just looking at things like buckles in a belt,
Yeah.
Are they silver or gold?
Mm-hmm.
Are they even the zippers, even buttons, so that when you put together an outfit, everything is cohesive? But that's really advanced, which I'm probably getting to at this point, but those are just some tips. And remember, instructors, you do not need, I always will say you should invest in at least one higher quality outfit, especially if you're going on an interview, if you're going to an event. I would say maybe invest in an outfit, but you have discounts for that. You can get discounts at Lulu, you get discounts at Athleta, you even get a discount at Fabletics. And if you're a member with Fabletics, go to the store, because then you get your instructor discount on top of that.
Now, a lot of times, if you lead an event, like lead a workout for Fabletics or Athleta, they'll hook you up with an outfit.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. And if you want to go the free route, do a class, because they'll gift you an outfit.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to shift gears. I want to hear about, like, what's it like being a male in our industry that is, I've got to say, like, predominantly female. I mean, we're at the same shows together, and there's just not a lot of men. How is that for you?
First things first, I'm going to say this. I am by no means a fitness expert. And what do I mean by fitness expert? A fitness expert to me states that you know the ins and outs of everything in the fitness industry. You know the scientific levels of how our body works when we exercise.
You understand the Krebs cycle.
You understand ATP.
You understand ATP and the
You understand that.
system.
You also understand the personal training business. You know the group fitness business, pre-choreographed, pre-designed, and freestyle. You know what it takes to run a fitness business.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, no one knows every little thing in the fitness industry. I even like to say that I'm not even a group fitness expert, because I grew up in a time where pre-choreographed was the way to go. We didn't know what freestyle was. I didn't come from the step, the high-low, the modernized weightlifting days, because pre-choreographed was what I knew. I would go to a training, they would give me the choreography. This is what it is. Here's the guidelines. You're good to go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's number one. So I like to say I'm a group fitness professional. I understand the business. I understand what it takes to be a group fitness instructor, what education you need, teaching tips, what the pay rates are for group fitness instructors. I understand that. And what I'm also going to say is going to be a little sexist, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Right.
If you are a male,
I already said the thing about wearing black, so go ahead, lay it on us.
if you're a male in the fitness industry, in the group fitness space, you have a leg up if you want to level up in your group fitness career. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say you are teaching a branded format. I'm going to use Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, Warrior Combat, and Warrior Revolution.
Thank you.
And let's say you are a male fitness instructor. Already we are in the minority. I will say we've gotten more as the years progressed, but being a male and being LGBT, I'll put that out there too. I've already got multiple legs up. So if I wanted to audition to be a master trainer or a brand ambassador for any format that I teach,
You'd get it.
I'm going to be looked at with more eyes, and that business is probably going to be more interested in me more than a woman. And I don't think it's right. I don't. Because I want to know I am being utilized because I am worth it. That they see something in me that is not just because I'm male or because I'm LGBTQ or I'm meeting a quota to say, oh, we got a male.
Check a box. Yeah.
I'm not going to check a box for you. I want to know that my talent, the way I speak, and that you value me as a human to bring something to the table that nobody else could. And the fact that I'm a male should be
Not considered.
secondary.
Yeah. But
I will say, sometimes I feel, and I know the people that I work with don't think this at all, so I'm just going to put that out there.
Right.
But I absolutely hate that if I was chosen just because I'm a male or I check a box, because I'm no one's boy. I'm not the token boy.
So,
And I will say, if you're a male, you do have a lead because let's just face reality. Group fitness is predominantly female oriented. I think it depends on the format, number one, because there are some formats that men will
like
start to lead.
cycle tends to have more men in it. Yeah, there's some
Has more men.
and it's
And
getting better, but it is still predominantly female.
Even in my day-to-day, I'll get a couple men who come to class, but I predominantly work with women. And if you're going to continue being a group fitness instructor, or if you go to conferences, we don't mean to do this, but we get excited when men come in the room.
It's true. I mean, like, I'm guilty.
Like when you get a guy in the room for the first time, you're like,
it's true.
You're like, wow. And your focus is going to be on the men, even if they're not that good.
Yeah.
And it's hard for people to hear. You're like, Matt, how could you say that? I'm thinking, no, it's the truth. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's right, because it's not. Because if I was looking for trainers for a company, or if I'm auditioning for somebody, I would want to know that I did a damn good job. I did everything that ticked the box. I cued. I presented well. I am enthusiastic and passionate, and it's not just about a title. It shouldn't just because I'm a male. And it's like a little unicorn in our industry. I think we've gotten better, but
I mean,
there's
I
still
feel like those things matter, the talent, the cueing, the musicality, all of that, the form and technique. I think all those things matter, but I do agree with you, like, all things considered equal, you and like a female, I think you do have a leg up, because companies want, and I'm guilty of this too. So I mean, what's the solution? Like, well, how do you, I mean, like what do we do about it?
I think it just takes some education. And I think being at the forefront and saying, this is a male in our industry. And they may teach a girly, for lack of a better word, they may teach a more feminine format, but look how strong they are. They're secure in their masculinity to be able to twerk or do something that may be considered feminine.
Right. Yeah.
And that is powerful. And I think for men, don't be afraid to teach a group fitness format. It may not be the most macho thing in the world, but being macho is being secure in your masculinity.
Right. It's sexy.
Saying,
It is
if I can do this,
sexy.
I am secure in myself. To me, if
Yeah.
you're afraid to do something that's very feminine, that's weak.
I agree with you. I totally agree. Yeah.
So don't be weak. You would
And
tell others not to be weak. You're the one who's pushing the gains on us. I always say the ones who like to get shredded have the same sort of mindset as the people who like to tone.
yeah. Yeah. I think there's also like a little bit of a takeaway for like directors and hiring managers and company CEOs, like to be aware, more aware of how it might feel. Like Mac's story, like being not wanting to feel like you're the token boy that checks that box. So someone that is hiring or bringing on actually communicating like why you got the role because of your incredible talent, because of your movement quality, because of the way you cued, because of your leadership, like communicating those things so it doesn't feel like, token
If
male.
I didn't have that and a woman did, I would be so happy because then I know in confidence that that manager hired someone not just because of gender, not because of orientation, not because of sex. It all comes down to their talent and what they bring to the table. And if they brought it more than me, then
Right.
that's amazing. And I'm so happy for them. But I just feel as though it needs to be said.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That's okay. So I want to, before we close our episode together, I am going to circle back to, I have a couple of things I want to ask about style coaching, but before we get there, was there anything else you wanted to talk about in terms of leveling up, or was that anything else you wanted to share about like just leveling up as an instructor, or was that basically specific to like representing yourself well in your style?
I'd say if you're going to level up, there's going to be so many episodes on this podcast from way more talented people than myself. Because I've only been doing this for 11 years, and I know people who've been doing this for as long as I've been alive. So if there's aren't episodes already, there will be future episodes with Ellen and people who talk about leveling up their coaching skills as an instructor. Here's what I'll bring to the table as a fitness instructor wanting to level up their style. Number one, first things first, you need to know your everyday wardrobe. We need to know your style, personality, your body shape, and your color consultation. That's the three main things. So people always talk about capsule wardrobing, which is amazing, but you need to know those three things first and where you are in the world. And then we can go into a capsule wardrobe. But being an instructor, like I said, it doesn't matter what budget you're at. It doesn't matter how many times a week you teach. If you are doing this full time, I will say, go for the higher end than the low end, because you will have those higher end pieces because they're made, I think, better than the lower end brands. But I'm not going to judge anyone if they come into a room and they look head to toe in Walmart. It doesn't matter to me. But you want things that fit well.
As long as it's not jammy feeted pajama Walmart.
No feety pajamas, please. No feety pajamas. Like, I give my little finger wave. Oh no.
Okay.
We can do better than that. But I would say also because you can have a more fitted look because it does look presentable. Wear the correct size. That's number one. Sometimes we come in something that's so baggy.
Yes.
Or so tight that we can't even move.
I have two friends. I'm going to throw them under the bus right now, Debbie, Wald, and Laura. They wear their clothes too big. Like the spandex, like it's too big. And I just think it's like maybe it's like a body dysmorphia thing. Like they think they're bigger than they are, but I'm like, get a tighter shirt and get tighter pants because it's flattering to fit.
Because spandex does allow you to stretch. And I always will tell people, if they always tell people tell me, oh, my leggings keep falling off, I always say size down, because spandex gives you allowed to stretch. But even things with body dysmorphia, we, as a style coach, we do take things into consideration because we want you to be shining bright like the diamond that you are.
Yeah.
And we will help you, because it also involves a lot of life coaching, which is what I really loved about it. Because when you dress well, all other aspects of your life, because sometimes we look at style or we look at fashion and we're just like, oh, it's just clothes. I don't really know what my style is, or I'm very self-conscious. I don't want people to notice me. And
right.
we get to a deeper level of why do we feel that way?
Right.
And it's a journey, just like fitness.
Right. Like, I mean, previous episodes where I talked about my eating disorder and I was hiding in the baggiest. I was like hiding. I wanted to hide. I wanted nobody to notice me. And that was, 20 years ago or whatever it was. And now today I like want to be noticed. I like want to stand out. So you can see that in the journey of what
and honoring the parts of your body that are amazing. Like you may say to yourself, oh, I don't like how my arms look, or I'm very self-conscious about my like flabby arms or something. But I would bring out the features and say, like, I validate you, number one, because we never want to be dismissive.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna say, like, these arms do so much every day, and they are strong. Yeah. Think of all the activities that you do every day. Not everybody can say that. And it's a privilege to be able to do the things that you are doing right now.
Oh, that's so good.
And we want you to feel confident in yourself. And when you have that inner confidence, your style will shine through and through. But as instructors, get things that are fitted correctly. And I will challenge you. Step away from black.
Okay. Noted.
Step away from black. There is so much activewear out there in every color under the rainbow. Try something other than black, because you already have 20 pairs of black leggings. Don't tell me you don't.
Yeah. So when we put on, so everybody, when we're putting on our fun colors and shedding some of our black, we need to tag Mac in our stories, and we need to talk about how we're putting away our black. Okay. Carry on.
Put away the black. You already have enough. You don't need to buy any more. Because even when you're a presenter or you're working with a company, yes, I'm going to say where they probably get one staple black, because most companies are going to want it. Teal is actually your better shot, because that's one of the more universal colors, because it will flatter most people.
I've heard that.
Teal is one of your better shots. And anything in the blue, greeny, teal, turquoise, that kind of realm, you're better off doing that, or even a navy. A navy is going to work better for most people than a black. Okay. Which is very interesting. And once you see the process, or if you Google color analysis videos, you will see what it does to people. And it's amazing what color can do for you. So don't be afraid to be adventurous with your color, and even color blocking, because there's so many ways you can mix and match different colors that you would have never thought possible. I love like a lemon yellow and a purple, because they're complementary colors and they actually sit well together. But when you think of it, you're thinking, oh, I would never pair this yellow and purple together. I don't know if it's going to work. It does. And pairing cooler colors with cooler colors, or warm colors with warmer colors. So if you put a coral and a spring green, or let's say you do a cobalt and maybe like a cyan blue or purple, like the characteristics have to be there. And that's like a whole other conversation. So if you have questions about that, feel free to contact me. I can definitely help you in that realm. But once I get done with school, I'm definitely opening up my inbox. I would love to work with you. I would
But
love to get to know you on a deeper level. I would love to show you how you already shine, but now I'm going to elevate that even more. Because when you have a color palette, and this works for your business, even if you are not physically the business, like you're not putting yourself out there, like you are not the product, like you're like, let's say you're selling jewelry or something, like your face isn't really on the website. But when you have your website or your business, if you have your color palette, it pushes you forward. And it's absolutely incredible. Like you need to know if you're doing a business and you get your colors done, here's a couple things you need to know. You need to know what your dark neutral is, and you need to know what your light neutral is. And let me tell you, for some of you, it's not going to be black and white. It's going to be something else. And then your other three colors would be something in your color palette. You can do something monochromatic. Like let's say if you wanted to do a pink and you wanted to do like a fuchsia, a magenta, or a lighter pink. And that's your accents throughout your website. So everything is cohesive.
yeah.
Or you can do 3 different colors. You can do a cobalt blue, electric purple, and a fuchsia pink. Those are your accents. And then you have your dark and your light neutral. So that way you don't have to rebrand. Because a lot of businesses rebrand, or we think sometimes as a business, like we have the concepts, we know what our target market is, we know what demographic we want to reach, we know our mission statement, we know our vision. And color sometimes is an afterthought. We're like,
Totally.
maybe I like this. Oh, I like this color. Or you're indecisive about what you want your logo to be and the color of your logo or the style of your logo. And once you get that done, you can just look at this and say, I love this. And let's say if you wanted to rebrand, you could maybe go a little lighter or maybe a little shade darker, but it's still within your color palette and it still pushes you forward. So let's say if black didn't look great on you, okay, maybe try a navy instead. Or maybe if you're an autumn, maybe an eggplant purple or a darker brown. Because then it pushes you as the leader, the entrepreneur, the owner of that business. And you're not fading into the background, or the product is so loud that it is overpowering you and it pushes you back. And nobody wants that in a business. And as instructors, we don't want to be in the background. We're at the forefront. We are leaders in our industry. And it's the power of color and style that pushes you forward. It doesn't matter how well you cue. It doesn't matter what style you teach. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Looking your best, knowing your best colors, just elevates you that much more in this industry where we're growing and growing, and you want to stand out. You don't want to be in the background.
Not as a group fitness instructor.
No, you're in the wrong job.
That's right.
You're
That's
in the wrong space.
It's really,
If you want to be faded in the background, do not be a group fitness instructor because you are front and center. I don't care how introverted you are.
Have you ever seen like a school bus driver that like doesn't like kids? It's like you're in the wrong job. That's not the right job for you. Like if you're a fitness instructor, like you need to pop. Okay, so when are you going to finish? When are you going to be available for people listening that might want to get some coaching from you? Is that what's the process like? How far away from that are you? I know you just
So the process, I just started maybe a couple weeks ago. Oh, I got balloons. Yay.
Everything. You're getting all
I'm getting everything. This is just the
I can do hearts really well. Watch. Wait. Okay, we're trying to make reactions on the video and Mac is, oh, look, I did it. Okay, carry on. So when are you going to be available for people that might be interested? What do you think?
So I started school maybe about 3 weeks ago. And what I will say is it's a self-paced course.
Okay.
And I can take as long as I want. I could take 3 months.
Yeah.
I could take 6 months. I could take 3 whole years if I wanted to.
Okay.
So if you follow me on Instagram,
Yeah.
you will definitely be the first to know of my updates and where I am in my journey. If I had to give a full, like, hardcore date, maybe a year from this episode being launched. I'll say about a year.
Okay. But the key
I
is
really want to be, I want to use my test clients first to make sure that I'm doing a good job and that I'm ready to put my services out there into the world. And I'll also say, this is the only time, just like fitness, where that little inner voice and said to me, you should do this.
Oh, man.
I
Oh.
haven't had that feeling because I've been wanting something new for a while. I have. I've been wanting something new, innovative, fresh.
Yeah.
Because me and a friend were talking and
Challenging.
it was at a point where, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. And if I got injured, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
I'm really screwed.
Right.
And there's nothing that excites me more other than style and fashion. I've always loved it. And the pandemic, watching hauls on YouTube and falling down the rabbit hole of color analysis videos. And there's like a couple people that I really love and enjoy watching. And I kept watching and watching. And I said, why don't you do this?
Mhm.
Why don't you? Because I'll be honest, I don't see a lot of men doing it.
Oh.
Anybody I follow, it's mostly women. And so
Oh.
unless someone recommends someone to me to watch,
Uh-huh.
a male color analyst, it's
Mhm.
rare to find.
Oh.
And I want to be at the forefront because I think men deserve this just as much as women.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to experience getting someone to look at you objectively and say to you, this is great, but we can do better. Because we want to see you shine. Don't we do that as group fitness instructors? We want to put the best in you. We're
Yeah.
not trying to make you carbon copies of Mac. I'm not trying to make you're not trying to make carbon copies of Ellen. You want people to shine where they are.
100%.
Just like fitness.
Yes.
Style's the same thing. It's just different concepts. And it really is a nice marriage together. And it just excites me so much.
It
So
is a beautiful thing to parlay into because to quote Shalene Johnson, like there is a shelf life on spandex. We're not going to be teaching classes forever. And just this is just a beautiful thing to have on the side and eventually someday, maybe even full time. Okay. I want you to give us a confession. Come on. What'd you come up with for us?
well, I kind of confessed something in the beginning of the episode, so you might have to rewind and go back. But I've constantly, I'll say that I've debated quitting fitness and just giving it up.
What? Whoa.
Because I'll say 2022 was a very hard year for me mentally. And constantly comparing myself to other people, finding out that people just hated me in the fitness presenter space, finding out like being rushed around and feeling inadequate. And I just got to a point, and even in my regular group fitness life, I just kept thinking, I'm not special anymore, or people are finding out these brand new things and they don't want me anymore. And I just felt I'm ready to be done because I kept comparing myself to social media. I kept thinking, why don't my classes look like theirs? What am I doing wrong? And I just said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. But then I'm very grateful that I've met people like you and Michelle Park, who I work with very exclusively. And they changed my life around and realized that I am worth it. And that Michelle saw something in me. And she said, like, I want you to be a part of the team. Like, I auditioned and everything. I knew, like, working with the company that I was running around with, like, I would go to your sessions, I'd go to her sessions, and I would like take videos and clips and all this other stuff. And I knew inside of me, like, I knew something was going to happen, but I didn't know what it was at the time. And I'm very grateful because that experience turned my life around and realized that I was worth it.
Yeah.
And that I have a purpose again. And it sparked my joy and excitement for fitness again when I just wanted to wash my hands clean, get a job somewhere else, maybe just go to the gym on the side and take classes for me. And that experience really turned my life around.
Oh.
And that's my confession. I wanted to just be done.
Thank you for giving like a really heartfelt, meaningful confession. Like it's just been, it's an interesting part of the show that I've been asking people, and sometimes they're funny and silly, and that was really, really beautiful. And I just want to say that I think you are so incredible. Like I was drawn to you when I first saw you, and part of it was your style. Like you did stand out. You did stand out because of the way you look, and probably because you're one of the only males at the conference, that too. But your heart, like you have such a beautiful heart, and it actually kind of came out just talking to you tonight too, because the way you talked about wanting people to feel a certain way, and you know,
Because I'm never going to say to somebody who's a working mom with 5 kids and has to have this one at this practice, this one has to go there, and say, oh, you need a 500-step skincare routine like the
right,
10-year-old Sephora.
right.
And to spend an hour on their hair, you need to spend this much time. Like, no, I'm not going to ask somebody that. But what I might suggest is, hey, like you have this time right now, maybe let's work on this. Like having a fresh face, even if you don't put any makeup on, just clean, simple face wash,
Yeah,
maybe maybe some lotion,
yeah,
and you're good. Or maybe to elevate if you have a natural style personality, because naturals love easy, breezy, natural materials. They don't like a lot of fuss, but there's still ways you can look your best in regular clothes that don't require a lot of fuss. Like
yeah.
a natural style is not going to have like 10-inch stiletto heels. That's not going to be them. But they can have a really classy pair of Birkenstocks, for example.
Yeah.
They can have flowy pants and a nice linen that is tailored to their body. So there's ways to elevate your style and still look your best, even if it's just regular. There's nothing dramatic and bright colors or prints or zippers, buckles, and like got to put shapewear on just to get into something, because not everybody's gonna do that. And even with black, I know it's a hard one. That's a hard one for people, but I promise you, there is more out there in this world than just your black.
That's like my number one takeaway. Okay, so follow Mac on social. So what's your Instagram account? Which is, it's your name.
It's my name, so it's MACTIV and the number 8.
Oh yeah, Mactive8. That's right.
Activate.
Yeah, and I'll
It was
put it
supposed to be Mactive, but Mactive was taken. So I was
oh,
like, what else of a play on words could I use?
Activate. I got it.
Like
Yeah.
activate. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh. And then I tried to spell it out, but I didn't like how it spelled out. So I put the number 8 because I'm an August baby and
Oh.
August is the number 8.
Okay, so follow,
So
and
it
then
kind of just worked out that way.
also, if you're interested, he is a master trainer for Soul Fusion, and he's out on the East Coast. So if you're interested in like taking one of his trainings, he'll post about that on social. He's very fun in stories. So if you like to, watch stories at night like I do, it's like my reality TV. Follow
Like
Mac.
anytime I see the cat videos, it's like,
And then also like I
I
think
send them to you.
the style coaching. So maybe some of us listening can be some of Mac's first, clients when he
I would love to work with you. We can work virtually, we can work in person. I would love to get in touch with you to help you be your best authentic self, not just through fitness. You're already doing that anyway. You're already inspiring people through fitness. But I can help you look your best at any stage, even in regular clothes, not just athleisure.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, Mac. Thank you so much for spending
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining in on the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. If you're interested in becoming a warrior instructor, go to warriorinstructors.com. But if you want more and found this episode amazing, please give us a rating. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to our next episode. So remember, be brave, be bold, be blessed. And above all, listen, learn, love.